Definitely. And it looks like we are off.
Alright, we got a Sank start with a small key to pod. There's 6 of those. Then we got the house start from JTB side with just 10 arrows, and it looks like he's going to go up to Uncle. Ack might be hula handing. That's a pretty standard gambit in the opening of Key Sanity. Yeah.
Yep, and if you want to do hula hand, it's really good to do it right off the bat. There's a couple items, flippers being the big one, that can mess this up, and then you're stuck waiting until you find gloves.
Well, JTP got a tree pull for 20 rupees, so that's not too bad for a money start either. So both the runners going to get money. Axe going to get a little bit more. But and we have the book on JTB side at the Uncle. But Key Sanity, you want to get money for resources early, because with so much other stuff in the pool, it can be a lot harder to get the early money that you need for the bottle vendor, for well, really anything, because you have to potentially get Zora, open pod, digging game, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you just have to buy bombs too.
Now, JTB, though, finding out that the level 1 tree pull is in fact 80 rupees is quite big, because that is a very fast way to solve almost all the early game money problems, and depending upon how he routes up into CAC, he should have more than enough to be able to both buy bombs and do the bottle.
Yeah, meanwhile, Axe going to take the slightly less traditional route, and which has been a big thing lately. Going to go buy bombs on the South Shore, and he's going up to Sahasrara first time.
Interesting.
Yeah, the point of that routing is basically you could get a bottle, or you could find the flute, or you could find any number of things that will make Kakariko just a little bit less annoying, and you'd be less likely to do a return trip. So it's been becoming a lot more popular.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Really, the only downside to it is if you pick up some sort of mobility item, either flute or boots, out of CAC.
And we see a green pendant in Swamp Palace, but the back of Sahasrara has big key to Ganon's Tower. Okay, that's pretty early. And the cane. And JTB did another tree pull in the forest, got some more rupees. It didn't look like he found anything too interesting.
Nope, just some minor stuff, but finding that Ganon's big key 2 minutes into the run, that's pretty...
Yeah,
Key
so
Sanity, you don't usually end up having to hunt for Ganon's big key just due to the way things work out, but that early is still surprising.
So if you guessed Sahasrara's Closet for the Ganon's Tower big key guessing game, you are the winner.
Yeah, that guessing game's just a little bit harder in Key Sanity.
Oh, Blind's Hut in the front, complete junk, but JTB doesn't have a bomb, so he's going to have to go searching elsewhere. Now, since V30 came out and they put bombs, or they took the capacity upgrades out of the pool and put bombs and arrows in, it can be easier to find bombs, but so far no luck on his side, so he might still have to go.
Yep, and he chooses to, instead of checking well, to just immediately go buy bombs to save having to do another backtrack.
Meanwhile, Axe going to go ahead and dive Eastern, which in Key Sanity is not nearly as, terrible of a play, because the likelihood of finding bow or big key of Eastern super early is not as high, and it's basically, you can treat it like a little bit more overworld. But he's going to dip out after the first couple chests, not go too deep.
Yep, with all the keys being randomized, the value of different dungeons changes dramatically, so whereas Eastern Palace normally only has 3 items, now all 6 chests could have items.
I believe he likes to hedge his bets a little bit and just dive in there to see if there's anything easily accessible in the front, but not commit too much time to it in case he can just come back later and do. Single arrow in the back of the well. So far, Kakariko is not getting too much interesting to us. So, where is all the stuff? Oh, small key to Turtle Rock. Not going to be using that.
Yeah, they have to find progressions somewhere. At this point, it's starting to look like it's all in South Shore.
Yeah, so the flags at the top mean all dungeons, open, swordless, hard, key sanity. So basically, the kitchen.
Ack does the big key racing game, or the race game, and just finds a piece of heart. Piece of hearts are one of those things that have been reduced in hard mode, so there are quite a bit less of them. Our runners will only be able to find a maximum of 14 hearts between containers and heart pieces.
And JTB found a full heart container in the back of Blind's hut, so somewhat worth going back for, because hearts are going to be important. The more hearts you can find, the better off you are. There's only one mail upgrade in this mode as well, so they're going to be max of 14 hearts and blue mail.
Well, both JT and Ack finally find the first chest with bombs in them. Of course, they've already bought, so that doesn't do either of them much good.
Isn't that the way of it? You buy bombs and then you immediately find.
It certainly seems like that happens more often than it should.
At least in V30, it's a lot more likely.
That's certainly true. So both our runners have pretty much flipped at this point and are just doing each other's routes, though neither runner has still been to South Shore.
Yeah, it seems like South Shore is where we're going to find our first bit of interesting items.
Yeah, either that or for some reason the game just really wants them to dip into Desert Palace, since we did find the book.
Yeah, early book, that does usually make you think Desert Palace early, and if they go to Desert right now, they would only be able to get one item inside and one item on the ledge, but they'd be able to get a hint preview. It's not much that they can get out of that, but maybe they'll find one of the small keys, or the small key, or the big key somewhere here.
And one other thing to note here is JTB goes into Mini Muldorm Cave. They only have bombs as the weapons, so this is not the easiest cave to clear out.
The one in the center is usually the worst one to try to get, because, you know, he tends to escape your bomb a lot easier than some.
Definitely, and if he charges you, it can be really awkward to try to get the bomb hit off. But JTB, with just a couple miss bombs, gets it down, and now he's gonna get his Mini Muldorm Cave, which is starting off awful and continuing. Okay, so the mirror and some compasses and maps, that's a thing.
Okay, well, the mirror's not bad, but without any other items so far, it's not going to do too much for them. And you notice that he went to Mini Muldorm first. Now he's going to go to the dam and probably check Agna and Desert with that. I'm surprised he didn't go to Ice Rod Cave, though, just to like maximize his chances of finding something else that he can do with that.
Yeah, the downside with Ice Rod Cave is it's such a long walk out of the way, and JTB still has the Eastern Palace area to check, so it's kind of hard for him to justify making that walk. Of course, we know that there's actually a much higher chance something is in Ice Rod Cave due to Ack already seen Eastern Palace area.
Looks like tier... Well, I didn't catch if that was tier 2 or 3. It was bombs on the...
That would have been nice to find out earlier. Usually once you get through the Kakariko area, bombs aren't too big of an issue.
Yeah, Ack picking up that boomerang, which in hard mode is not going to be worth too much. It can pick stuff up for you, but it can't stun enemies, so that's not really anything that's interesting to see.
Yeah, the boomerang goes from already one of the least enjoyable items to find to just absolutely miserable.
Interesting, JTB also going into the desert without even checking Agnes.
So he did check the ledge first, so... Oh, and actually, yeah, I guess with... you can't just jump out the right side, which is normally what you would do to go just do a quick Agna check. Actually, no, he can still do that, and that's probably what he'll do after checking this one chest.
Yeah, no sword, so he's got to wait out the... what is that called? A Debbie Rando? Or something? It's something crazy.
So we do have a big key up on the torches, so boots are going to be required at some point in this seed. Possibly, because that... Well, actually, no, this is all dungeons, so yes, it is required.
Well, there are 2 keys that it might be that might not be required, but the odds are in favor of that being required. Oh, well, we found the Power Glove in Desert, so the dip was at least semi-worthwhile. So that's probably the only reason it gave him the book right there, but we'll see what he can find over here in Aghanim.
Yep, gloves does seem like a strong reason to force you in there. And Ack is going to indulge us and check Ice Rod Cave for us, so we are going to get to find out what JTB missed. And in fact, these are actually the last two checks that we haven't seen before gloves would be required. Oh, Ack takes a death from a crab.
We do have the front of escape as well.
Alright, JTB only checked the right side.
And then there's also one more chest in Eastern Palace that's unlocked.
Yep, and if our runners are feeling like it, of course, they can always go and get the final chest in Eastern Palace by walking through a couple dark rooms.
So JTB is going to take these gloves and go immediately for the back of escape, which is pretty much all they unlock. Well, they also unlock Zora, but he doesn't have money for that, so he's going to go for the easy picking.
Yep, and actually with the unlocking Zora, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him immediately go from here to doing Hula Hand to get close to the required amount of money for Zora. And those flippers certainly is going to make that even more likely.
Well, he's not going to Hula Hand the way that Ack did anyway, so we'll see what he does. He does have 4 checks, I think, outside of Zora he can do with those flippers, so he's just going to go do those first.
It's actually really interesting that he does decide to skip it there, because the other way to set up Hula Hand is by going back to the grave and then bombing yourself down the hole. That does the same camera offset that gets you into Hula Hand you do from jumping into the water. And it'll also then set you up at Link's house. So it's kind of surprising to see JTB wanting to just go to Link's house and skip getting all that cash.
So Ack's going to go ahead and check Aghanim before he goes to Desert, which... Oh wait, no, he doesn't have the book yet. Where was the book at? The book was in...
Oh, that was Uncle.
Uncle, right? He hasn't gone up to Uncle. So that's going to cost him a little bit because he's going to have to walk back to the desert. He does... Well, he only has 4 bombs, so we'll see how he feels about doing escape. Technically speaking, he can't do all of escape with just the 4 bombs. He needs 5.
But he can actually use the blue cane. So while the blue cane on hard mode does not actually grant you invulnerability, it still does do damage.
That is a good point. So he should be good to go if he wants to go all the way.
JTB is going to then now do Eastern Palace check. We'll see if he decides to do the other chest in here. And I'd guess with where he's already checked, he probably will.
Yeah, I do believe Ack's going to go ahead and go inside. He can get 1 chest in the logic in here, and then he can get 2 more chests in the downstairs area that are not technically in logic, but usually pretty easy to get to, so there's no reason not to do them while you're...
Exactly, and you really don't want to backtrack into here. It's not a quick walk.
Yeah, of all the sequence breaks you can make, sequence breaking around the Hyrule Castle small key is pretty small.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ack's gonna go ahead and do the cane strats instead of wasting his bombs right now, which is pretty smart. So far as logic goes, there's nothing here unless the Hyrule Castle small key is just sitting around somewhere we haven't.
And who knows? It's key sanity. Anything can happen. But so far, from what we do know, is that the actual progression is in Desert. And then getting the flippers is the next step.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Ack skipped here in Eastern in just a minute.
Yep. Chest coming up, and then JTB can also go and get the hint tile, one of those new features. Oh, the red meringue.
Okay, that was definitely worth skipping.
Oof.
Ooh.
But that was a very good hint tile. So the boots do require the hook shot, is what we've now found out.
So that should only be hookshot cave, I believe. Or, well, I guess it could be the back half of swamp, maybe. That should also count.
Yep, those seem like the 2 logical places that would be. And JTB is going to do the dark room for us, so we're going to find out the last item in Eastern Palace.
thinking it might be possible for left side GT to also count in that, but with the big key on the torch, it seems less likely that it'll. Ooh, that is a really good sequence breaker right there.
So Ack finds their primary weapon for the run, the hammer.
Okay, so that makes me wonder where in the world that key is going to be that he has not gotten yet. That's pretty powerful. It's also really handy when the seed locks something that powerful behind such a silly logic sequence that you can completely. JTB went ahead and went to the last chest in Eastern. Pretty easy to get through those dark rooms if you know what you're doing. With no weapon and 4 hearts, it can be a little bit shakier, but he makes it through okay. Just gets bombs for his trouble.
Yep. So now, with Flippers, his next primary location is to check all our water locations. Probably starting with Hobo, though we should also get a check of the island. We'll see if the runners have to ever come back and check that. 10 arrows doesn't seem likely.
I thought Eck went to the Ice Rod Cave, or am I crazy?
He got right about where he is now before he decided to block a crab with his face.
Oh, he died. Oops. That always feels bad, dying right next to that cave.
Yeah, it's such a long walk, and those crabs are brutal, though. They do 2 hearts of damage, and their side movement's really unpredictable.
Just a small key to Turtle Rock, so nothing you need right away, but it may come into play for JTP. You do need 3 small keys minimum to fully clear Turtle Rock, so we know where 2 of them are so far.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny to find both of those early, considering that Turtle Rock keys are, while important, you're usually hoping to find things like pod keys earlier. Oh, interesting. Ack is going to set up fake Flipper here.
Well, JTB is going to go ahead and swim over to Ice Rod Cave, so he's not leaving it behind for too long. Flippers is a pretty easy way to get back over here, though, so that's not, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of rata.
Ack's not going to be able to find anything or figure out what's in the Moon Pearl Cave with this move, so I think he's just going to fake Flipper here and then go to Desert.
Yeah, for him, that's pretty much where he has to go at this point. JTB and Ack, though, neither of them still have enough rupees to actually do Zora. And that's starting to look more and more likely like a check they're actually going to have to do.
Yeah, well, with the 4 items they have outside of Zora, they could possibly still find what they need, but yeah, Zora is they're gonna have to farm money if they want to get Zora, which is gonna be a bit of a pain. But if Ack finds the Moon Pearl in one of those 4 locations outside of Zora, he will have Dark World access immediately.
Yeah, that's a very good point to make there. So let's see if Fairy Cave has the answers for JTB. Well, you can't say no to the flute.
Okay, so instead we're gonna get Death Mountain access.
Yeah, we'll be able to climb all the way up thanks to that mirror. We can get all the way up to Tower of Hera.
Yeah, that's 2 items in Tower of Hera. That's 2 items on the mountain. One on the Spectacle Rock and 1 in Spectacle Rock Cave. Oh, the Fire Rod. So there's some interesting stuff over here. Of course, the interesting thing is if JTB goes up the mountain before he goes to Zelda's cell, he won't be able to check nearly as much. If Ack gets that flute, he will be able to check the entirety of East Death Mountain as well.
Yeah, that hammer, it's a real big one.
And the Fire Rod doesn't do too much for them right now, so we'll see what the Spectacle Rock Cave and Spectacle.
Yeah, Fire Rod not super useful in the early game. However, it is in Swordless one of the most important items to find because it, out with the hammer, is your primary source of damage until you find the bow for some things. There are just so many fights that Fire Rod speeds up because you're just not normally supposed to have it there.
Yeah, JTB is going to activate that flute, and it seems like he's probably going to go right up the mountain, so he'll be missing East Death Mountain for now, which is not technically in logic, but that is 8 items that he could be. Also, Ack will be able to check Ether Tablet because he'll have the hammer in the book. Well, he'll be able to check. JTB will be able to see what it is anyway. He won't be able to get it.
Correct. And while it is unfortunate JTB doesn't have the hammer yet, it doesn't cost him too much time to have to do the reclimbing the mountain. I mean, it's about a minute or so, so it's not the end of the world. Ack does find his flippers, so he's now added those locations.
Yeah, they've both done a couple of sequencing things that have put them somewhat like a slight amount of time behind their opponents. So, I mean, they're both. It's still pretty even right now. Trying to figure out which one of them has taken the sequence that has cost them the most.
Yeah, really at this point, it's going to be whoever finds Dark World access first is going to be the person with a bit of a lead.
Yeah, Axe showing off a little tech there for Sanctuary. If you switch to the mirror, you could just mirror right to the front door. Axe actually just gonna go up the mountain, it looks like. Not gonna get those flippers first.
So with the hammer, it does make getting through the dark rooms quite a bit easier than doing it without, but still getting through the mountain without a sword is not the easiest thing.
So as far as he knows, most of this is a sequence break, but it's not the worst sequence break. He can get a lot of items up here with that mirror and that hammer. He may just be assuming that the oh, he did get the he got the flippers. He may just be assuming that like the lamp or something is over in Zora's domain and he's supposed to be up on the mountain.
Yeah, it's not a bad gamble, and really, the flute, assuming he goes there soon, isn't going to really cost him not having this early. Ooh, a big key off the old man. Desert Palace big key, that's an interesting one. And that makes that fire rod a lot more understandable to be early.
Yeah, that's just mean. JTB has not got the hammer yet. No, the hammer is in Zelda Cell and Escape, and he has not gone into a high roll cap.
So I wonder if that means the lamp actually has to be here relatively early in the logic.
Not necessarily. I mean, Desert Big Key only locks 2 locations, so they don't necessarily need it anytime.
No, it's just kind of surprising to find some of the other items to get back there. Tablet ends up being couch cached, so we won't see JTB going back for that one.
Yeah, and Hikey Type making the other good point that land monos isn't even in logic until you get the small key, so technically speaking, as far as logic goes, you know, that big key only gets them the...
Oh, Axe setting up a fairly tricky bomb jump here to save having to walk back. Nicely done.
JTB finding a small key to Misery Mire in the basement of Harrow, which is pretty much good for... wait, what was that? I missed.
I think that just said that there's cash in the basement of Hera, which is actually a really big time save, and kind of funny to find it in Hera.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty nice. Anyway, the Misery Mire small key is not needed whatsoever, but it does help routing a little bit if you just have at least one of them.
Yep, Misery Mire is one of those dungeons where there's just so many keys laying under pots that it's pretty easy to just do it without having found anything except the big key.
Alright, so JTB's going to go ahead and go to Escape. He doesn't have a huge amount left, so this might be really all he has. So he's going to go ahead and go down here.
Yeah, I think
because
his only other logical check, I think, might be Zora.
Yeah, I was about to say there's nothing actually in here in logic, but he's going to get that hammer. So the question is, what does Zora have? Zora could just have that Hyrule Castle small key, which would be kind of fun.
Yeah, that actually would be pretty amusing to have found that there. JTB electing to do bomb strats on the guards instead of using the cane, though he is pretty low on magic.
Yeah, there's a limited number of things that would progress everything fully on Zora. Like if they got the Moon Pearl, that wouldn't actually get them anything. So I wonder. It almost seems to make the most sense that they would have the small key to Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, I think you've got a pretty good assessment on that.
Balayami saying it could be interesting if it was just the lamp, because that would make the desert big key mean that the big chest was holding something that would.
Yeah, that would be a fun mandatory multiple dips into Desert Palace.
It seems no matter what Zora is holding, it's something that would require them to sequence around in a weird way and just double dip.
Yep, and as all the sequence breaks so far that's involved have been pretty minor ones. It wouldn't surprise me if neither of our runners actually end up heading over to Zora anytime soon. So JTB now has his hammer and is ready to head back up Death Mountain.
Well,
oh, and
there's some
App finally
Zora money.
finds. Yeah, there we go. We finally found a 300 rupee.
Well, if he wants to, he can go up to Zora and see what the heck it is that he was missing for the sequence. But if he finds Moon Pearl over here, I imagine he's going to save it as long.
And Ack demonstrating why this is a really annoying room when all you have is bombs.
There's a setup when you walk in where if you just put a bomb near the center and then one near the right, most of the time it'll get all three of them. But he didn't quite.
So all 7 of those chests, though, that was basically garbage, so we really only have Spiral Cave left at this point on Death Mountain.
Huh. Would be funny if Zora had like the cape or something so they could get into the first chest of Aghanim Star.
That would be... Yeah, there's a lot of... Whatever is on Zora at this point, if they don't find anything here in Spiral Cave, it's gotta be something just really annoying.
Yeah, it's gonna be something silly that gets them like one item.
Alright, Spiral Cave, you're our only hope to not have to go straight to Zora.
Spiral Cave is not going to have the boots because the boots are locked by the hook shot, according to a hint that. Oh, Zora, I guess it is.
JTB is currently trapped in the top of Death Mountain, though, by some those little demons, basically. He only has 1 heart here. He has to be really careful.
Oh, am I cutting off? I am on push to talk. Maybe Discord's being weird.
Excellent job by JTB there to get past that rock. Oh man, that would have been an awful place to have died. You'd have to completely reclaim Death Mountain.
I really don't know which item that I want Zora to have right now, but it's going to be something really silly that's going to lead to some, like, it's going to expect them to have double dipped a lot. Meyer, you don't need any of the small keys technically. If there's something on the left side that's firelocked, you're supposed to have all 3 of the Meyer small keys. That's really the only logic involved, but you don't need anything but the big key to actually clear Vitreous.
Yep, Meyer is one of those fun dungeons that way. JTB has collected his share of the Death Mountain cash.
I don't think it's going to be Mitz because I don't think Mitz gets them anything right now as far as sequence.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that would be able to get to. Well, okay, there it is.
I'm a liar. Oh, Checkerboard. I'm stupid. Yeah, that's right. That's good call, guys.
Oh, Checkerboard.
I forgot all about that.
Wow, that's a heck of a sequence chain to have to go check. So let's see if Ack has immediately picked up on that, because that's not the easiest 2 dots to connect together. This is a really weird set of items to be having at this point in the game.
Yeah, I think Checkerboard's literally the only thing they get out of that, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I was trying to think through the other Dark World items that are just sitting out, and I think you're right that that's the only one they have access to.
I can't believe I forgot about Checkerboard. Oops.
I mean, to be fair, when do you expect Checkerboard to be your first in-sequence Dark World check?
Well, usually as soon as I see the mitts and the flute, but I just totally spaced on that one this time.
Well, let's see if Ack has spaced on it or not. If he flutes straight to 6, that'll be a good sign for him.
I imagine he will. I don't think he picked up the desert big key from the old man though. Or no, he went through the cave. I'm stupid. That was him. I don't think JTB has picked it up.
Correct. JTB did not go to get the old man because he decided he didn't want to try to do the boomerang strats to navigate the dark room.
Okay, so at this point, it's probably Pearl in the in either the desert big chest or checkerboard. Yeah, the desert big chest is also available. Well, not without lamp. So no, it's probably Pearl and checkerboard, and then desert big chest is basically just a bonus right now.
Yep, so either way, Ack is going to do what is potentially a sequence break, depending upon where that lamp is.
Well, he's got the mirror, so it's easy to get in and out. No reason not to.
No, exactly, and you just want to get it done as long as you're here. This is all dungeons, so regardless of whether or not it's Pendant or a crystal, we have to do it at some point, and might as well do it while you're here.
Okay, so nothing too fancy out of that, just a big 20. So only like 27 more of those to go. He does have the fire rod actually, so he's going to go ahead and sequence break Land Molas too, which is also no real reason not to, right?
Exactly. It'll be a little annoying. He's going to have to do a fair bit of the fight with the hammer. Doesn't have enough magic to kill it with fire rod. But that shouldn't be too big of an issue for runners at this level.
Yeah, and in Key Sanity, you don't know if it's a pendant or a crystal until you get the map or you pick up the pendant or crystal in question. This being all dungeons, though, it doesn't matter. If you can reach a boss, just go ahead and do it.
Exactly, it matters significantly less. Though, in a somewhat amusing twist, we've actually found a lot of maps already.
Oop, JTB accidentally getting a little mirror bonk going there. But JTB is going to go ahead and check checkerboard for us first, so we get to see our Moon Pearl, probably. Yeah, there we go.
There it is. Alright, now the game's finally opened up. Ooh, Ack just missed the Fire Rod quick kill. He's going to have just a couple hammer hits in the last Land Mola.
No, he's going to go ahead and throw a couple bombs down on it, too. But I think that one missed, but he got it with a hammer.
And there it goes. Yeah, that bomb timing on Land Molas is really tricky. It's a very narrow window, and a lot of it depends on which way the Land Mola decides to jump out.
Okay, so JTB going to immediately check Mire Shed with that Pearl and get nothing for his troubles. Did he check the medallion? I didn't see. Is that Bombos on the tracker?
I'm not sure. It looks like it. I'm assuming he did check that while we were watching Ack. And chat does say it is Bombos, so I'm going to believe that.
Okay, so Ack is just going to Super Bunny Mire Shed for some reason. I don't know why. He's got to know his Pearl's like right next door, so I don't know what he's doing really.
Yeah, this is actually kind of a weird loss of time for him.
I guess maybe he just wants to showcase a little bit of Super Bunny for us. Don't get to see it too often, so why not?
But even if, when he does get it, so he's going to get to check them, but you gotta wonder, you could just check checkerboard first, then come back here. JTB is in Hype Cave and gets Quake out of the first Thief. Small key to Ganon's Tower and another burrito.
So the trick for anybody that didn't know is if you press mirror on the same frame that you're entering a building as a bunny, you can activate Super Bunny, which allows you to open chests.
Yep, and Super Bunny, it's not too terribly difficult of a trick to pull off, but it is not considered one of the minor glitches, so it is not something that you would ever really need to do in one of these speedruns, or in one of these randomizers.
Yeah, Korik making a good point. It wasn't necessarily guaranteed the pearl was there. It could have been something stupid like caper. So I guess
Exactly.
that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, it just seems like it makes a bit more sense to just first check checkerboard and then head back and do it if you don't get pearl. But either way, he's got his pearl, he's in the dark world, and he's following just slightly behind the same route that JTB seems to be taking. Stumpy has the big key to Eastern Palace there. We still can't logically finish it. We do need the lamp, technically, to get back there. And of course, the bow is still required.
Yeah, it's only worth one chest right now, so not really super helpful.
No, but it is just nice to have it out of the way. You never really want... It's always nice to have those big keys in your pocket, so it's just one less thing to be hunting for at the end of the game.
Yeah, I think Ack's gonna go ahead and grab this hint real quick while he's here. Wait, he's done damn right.
I
Well, he does have
assumed he
flippers. So
had.
he's got flippers, so he's gonna get the hint, and he's gonna go ahead and get the first chest while he's in here. So yeah, not.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting check. It's an annoying amount of time to have to set up Swamp Palace, which is why you don't normally see runners going in here until they're ready to start clearing it.
Well, the hint's pretty free, but while he's here, he might as well get that one chest. Could be something interesting.
Exactly. And if this is something useful for progression, it could really pay off for him, because it's very unlikely JTB will be in here anytime soon.
Well, I guess it depends on what the powder leads to. We'll see how long it takes him to turn that in. And he found a bottle is in Palace of Darkness, which is okay, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't found a bottle yet, but the odds of something actually being on Sick Kid are kind of eh.
Depends on where in Palace of Darkness too, because it takes 6 keys to get to a lot of spots, logically speaking. So that is not, as of right now, super helpful information.
Yeah, Desert Palace is one of those where it's easy to lose track of what's technically in logic, because it's pretty easy to sequence break around to get a lot of the chests in there. And Ack finds the Ice Rod on that Bombos tablet, and GTB finds the Ether Medallion and Hammer Pegs.
Okay, so both finding a couple interesting things. Ack's gonna go. Let's see, he's already done Hype Cave, right? So he's probably just gonna go south route, get the Stumpy Gut item, get the digging game, and then go into the village from there. And then JTB, meanwhile, has started clearing Village of Outcasts. He's probably gonna do the first 4 of Thieves Town, which is good to just treat like Overworld while you're in here. He gets a small key to Ice Palace, which is somewhat okay for routing, but not practically necessary if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's actually really useful from a routing standpoint. You're able to check right side as soon as you get down there, and it makes it so much easier to get those chests. Otherwise, you have to do, depending upon your items, there's a couple of bomb jumps that you're basically required to do it in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, I expect both of these runners know all the bomb jumps they need to. And then
Yeah, exactly. It's really just a time-saving thing at this point for these runners.
And we'll have to see. They have the fire rod, so they could just go straight into Skullwoods from here. They could also go check Graveyard Ledge with the mirror. We'll see how far they want to take.
Yeah, Skullwoods is an interesting option at this point. It's pretty much all open to them.
So they have fire rod and hammer. They don't have too many hearts, so Mothula is going to be a little bit gross. But And I don't think he's actually in Logic and Swordless without half magic or a bottle, so you could refill your magic bar. But we'll see if they're feeling brave today for Moth. Two Podkeys in Thieves Town. That's interesting.
And with their item setup, Mothula is not one of those fights that you want to die on, because you will suddenly no longer have that all-precious magic meter that you need to really get the fight down quickly.
So another interesting thing they could do with Fire Rod right now, and that Ice Palace small key is clear pretty much all of Ice Palace but the big chest. So it won't be like logical, but it will be 7 items they could get. Well, at least most of it will be logical. The big chest and Polster won't really be. And we found the small key to Thieves Town inside of Thieves Town, but they don't have the big key right now, so that's not really helping them out, right?
No, not too much at all. But yeah, man, if you're feeling bad about having to go do Mothula with 5 hearts, dipping into Ice Palace with only 5 hearts is a even tougher sell.
I don't know. Well, they would go all the way to Coldster. I was gonna say, other than Coldster, Ice Palace isn't the worst thing ever.
But yeah, like if you're ooh, there's the mail, or one of the 2 locations it can be. There's 2 mails still in the game in hard mode, but only one of that. It'll only be blue mail.
Yeah, but with no cape, it's just gonna sit up there and tease them for right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they find the cape, if JTB elects to go back to it, or Ack if he does see it. There's a small key there in Lumberjack Cave.
There's very few that it would necessarily be hard or required to get. Well, at least logically speaking. So, or practically speaking, like if there's something on desert right side and it's desert small key, maybe. But for the most part, a lot of small keys are just required by logic and not necessarily needed for runners. Oh yeah, small key would be the big one.
Yeah, JTB takes an unfortunate death there in the Dark World. I don't know where he was planning to go, but
I'm guessing he was gonna go into Skull Woods, go back down and go into Skull Woods, but he's gonna have to go the long way now. Ack, meanwhile, checked powder, got nothing for his troubles, and is now gonna check the purple chest for us. Looks to me like JTB is gonna take those few pod keys he has and go into pod and see what's going on.
Well, purple chest is important. That is the Canis Samaria.
Okay, that's pretty nice find. Not sure. It's gonna be a minute before it really comes into play, but it's pretty nice.
Did we actually see what medallions needed for Turtle Rock?
I don't think they had the pearl when they were there, so I don't think they checked it.
Because well, the odds are actually in the favor now that Turtle Rock is open, and with the 2 small keys they have 1 or 2 small keys for it already. There's actually quite a bit they can do in there.
There are 2 available, but I'm not sure if they both have both of them. The tracker's a little fuzzy for me. I think they do both have 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they found both as part of that Light World checking to try to find the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, that actually gets them to Mimic Cave and nowhere else, because I don't think they have the big key. But
that does give them.
I don't know if they're gonna want to do that right now.
Yeah,
they've got other options.
There are a number of chests there, so it's a possibility.
Okay, well, JTB found a pretty important key there in the front of pod, the small key, which without the hook shot does not actually get you anything out of the back, but it does get you 4 chests in the front.
Yeah, that's a real important one to be finding. As much as runners hate going to do left side of.
Well, for JTB it'd be 5 because he hasn't actually been in the front the swamp at all. But
oh, hey, we finally found the lamp.
That's an interesting spot because I believe that's locked by 6 keys. Could be why we've been seeing so many of them so early.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Well, not a very useful hint tile there. JTB has already fully cleared out Dark Village. So Lamp is one of those items that, at this point, it's just a nice comfort item. It just makes all the dark rooms a lot faster. There's good these runners know the setups for all of them, they know how to navigate all of them, but without the sword, it can just be annoying, especially coming up here, the Dark Palace maze. Doing this without a mirror, or without the lamp and without the sword, is just frustrating sometimes.
Okay, well, JTB is going to go ahead and check these chests here in the rupee room, which are not actually in logic yet without more small keys, but again, sequencing is more important than logic on these as long as you're keeping track of what you've actually found in and outside of.
Exactly. You want to do as few dips in here as possible.
Ack is going to go ahead and do the Skull Woods with that fire rod, though. We'll see what he can get. He can get 6 items out of here without the big key, because one of them is a guaranteed small key. Oh. Of course, Mothula won't be in logic until he has 2 Skullwood small keys, but, you know, again, logic. Ooh, that does make Ice Palace fully clearable, though. That makes Ice Palace a lot more attractive.
Yeah, and I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Ack head there right after Swamp Palace unless they find something else inside of here. JTB gets first try hammer jump and is going to be able to get the last 2 items in pod that are available to him. But so far, pod has not paid off.
Yeah, that Swamp Small Key was interesting, but without the hook shot, it's not super attractive right now. However, Ice is looking real nice.
Well, there's the big key to Turtle Rock, which actually puts Turtle Rock real close to being full clearable, or at least all the way down to Trinex.
It should mean they can get to Laser Bridge logically.
Yep. Now JTB, of course, has not yet found the Ice Rod. Only Ack has that at this point.
Oh, hey, looks like the hammer's in logic finally.
Wow, that was really out of the way. So logically, the game wanted the runners to go all the way, do checkerboard, then come into Skull Woods without a weapon, so they could finally go get hammer. That's fun.
I mean, your road to hammer being inside Skull Woods is probably one of the nicer sequences, myths-related sequences to get hammer, but thankfully this time it was pretty.
So JTB now finally having his Desert Palace big key is going to go get those out of the way and probably get the boss done as well.
This hammer was sequence broken because the key that Ack just found blocks the 2 chests in the bottom of Hyrule Castle, and that's where the lamp. I mean, the hammer. Sorry, the hammer.
And I just want to point out, JTB yet again does his best to get himself mirror trapped onto something. He's not had a lot of luck with mirroring over by Desert Palace.
Alright, Axe going straight to Mothula. We'll have to see how this works out. He doesn't have much in the way of magic left, but he does have that hammer, which is 4 hits if he doesn't hit any spike. JTB, meanwhile, going to go through to land Molas, not get too much for his trouble, but he will get his first crit.
Yeah, let's see how Ack does here. This is a really tricky fight to do with the hammer. The hitbox on it plus Mothula moving over the place makes for a really challenging time to get your hits in.
Taking a little tank to Mothula there, I think, so he can get a hit. Can't do that too much on Green Mill. There he goes. Nicely done.
Excellent job by Ack. The only hit he took was one to get a hit in. So Ack has finished our second dungeon and also the second crystal of the run.
I'd be kind of surprised if he doesn't go to ice at this point, because I think he's got the cane, he's got one small key, and he's got the big key, so that makes logically ice completely done or doable logically.
Yep, the only other thing that makes a lot of sense for him to potentially do is to go check pod.
And we find out that a Ganon's Tower small key is on the pedestal, so I don't think we'll be worried about that.
Not at all. They've already found one, so I won't need any more.
If you go right first, you only need 2 small keys to full clear Ganon's Tower, because you can get the key that's beyond the portal and then go back left, and as long as you don't open any weird doors, you should be.
JTB knocks out Molas without any issue. And Ack is going to go check out pod.
Okay, I guess he's not interested in ice just yet, despite it being full clearable. He does have 3 pod keys, so he can get a few items out of here too. I think it says 3 on his tracker. I think that's all we found so far. Between the two of them, it's just 3. Tracker's really kind of fuzzy for me.
Yeah, JTB ended up with 4 in here, so I don't know if he found one in here or what happened.
Oh, that might be a 4.
Yeah, I just remember as he was walking through the first rooms, that's what it was at. Yep.
Yeah,
4.
okay. Yeah, you can get a lot of items out of here.
So yeah, Ack should be able to get all of the same items that JTB pulled out of here, so he'll actually then have the interesting choice if he wants to head up to Death Mountain and into Turtle Rock, because he has both rods, 2 keys, and he'll have full access into it, assuming, of course, that the medallion is one of the 2 we have and not Bumbos.
I think that did JTB really get anything out of here besides the lamp and the small key? I don't remember seeing it.
It was lamp, small key, and big key to Turtle Rock. Was the 3 things that of note.
Alright, at getting that lamp, we still don't know where the last couple of pod keys are, so it's not really unlocked. But nice to have.
Mm-hmm. And so JTB and Ack have basically swapped what they were doing. So once they've both finished up these locations, we're pretty much, I think both of us are convinced that it's either Ice Palace or Turtle Rock is going to have to be the play here.
Yeah, so the real question is, are the last 2 pod keys in Ice Palace or Turtle Rock?
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, as you pointed out with that small key, there's a few things you can do in Mire or, Swamp Palace, but the item density is just better to go into Turtle Rock or Ice Palace.
I would think Ice Palace because it's actually full clearable, but,
And I mean, that's a really, really good thing, because, again, do you really want to waste all that time hiking up Death Mountain to have to walk back just to kill Trinox?
Yeah, sometimes people feel a little differently in a 1v1, so we'll see. They still can't really get to Trinox, so there's less reason to go to Turtle Rock in that.
So JTB actually dipped out of Skull Woods early and is heading straight to Ice Palace.
Yeah, JTB's actually only got Ice Palace really on the table because he has not done Purple. And there's the other reason that people might be more interested in Ice Palace. 3 hints to possibly tell you where something interesting. First one just being garbage, of course.
Yep, Axe still trying to set up his bomb jump here, and gets hammer jump. And now JP gets to demonstrate how annoying these penguins are when all you have is the hammer.
Yeah, there's they died to one shot in with bombs, so there's a couple things you can do with bombs to make this a little easier, but he does a pretty nice job with just...
Yeah, excellent job actually not to get hit at all in that room. Most of the later rooms are either able to do bomb strats, as you said.
No, Chad, JTB has not fought blind yet because you can't fight blind without the big Thieves Town. Axe gonna go ahead and go further into Eastern Palace. He did skip that one chest in the back that was logically available. Now he can get 3 more chests out of here. So the only thing that will be interesting is if the big chest has something, because JTB did check the other 2 chests and didn't get much for his troubles. Oh, interesting. The Skullwoods big key is in left side of swamp, and I don't know if you... I mean, it's basically a fetch quest, so that's that makes it really hard to figure out if you want.
That almost makes it worse to decide whether or not you want to go do left wing. Like, normally you would just skip it initially because it's slow, but now with that, oh, there's maybe a fetch quest, do you do that?
I mean, I kind of feel like you should, but at the same time, it's just like one item. It's like trading an item for an item. I don't know. That'd be hard. That'd be a hard...
Yeah, especially like because the other item's a compass.
So Ack found just nothing in Eastern Palace. It's the big chest. So unfortunately, he's not gonna get anything out of here that he wants. So we'll see where he goes.
And that room JTB just went through, that's normally where you do bombs, but instead he does a really nice job of trapping all the penguins in the corner and hammering them to death.
Yeah, so far he hasn't really got anything super good out of here either, but he's got a few chests.
Yeah, most of the chests in Ice Palace are located in the back. Hey, our first bottle. That only took almost an hour.
Yeah, where did that one clue said it's in pod somewhere, but we never even...
Yeah, it must be right side pod.
Hey,
Or I guess Helmasaur, potentially.
Big key to Misery Mire, that's not bad, but they don't have a way in.
Nope, yeah, they're getting... Misery Mire will be a pretty easy clear once they finally find either boots or hookshot to get inside of it.
And Axe gonna go ahead and take that fully clearable Ice Palace. He's gonna go in right here behind JTB. JTB still hasn't found anything besides that Mire Big Key, which doesn't help them as of right now, but he's got like 4 locations.
Yeah, and another one coming up in this room.
Oh look, it's a pod small key.
Okay, well, they do need that at some point. Oh, the final turtle, there's the 3rd Turtle Rock small key. So that's going to put the whole dungeon in logic.
Not technically. The 4th one...
Right, there's a lava bridge still.
The 4th one is required for Trinex, but they can just go ahead and clear Trinex, and there's no reason why they wouldn't want...
Yeah, lava bridge, not laser bridge, would be the one item you'd have to leave orphaned, as you would need to steal the key to be able to get down to Trinex.
And who doesn't orphan that chest in Key Sanity?
Yeah, it's pretty much just a given. So as JTB does not have the Cane of Samaria, and he elected not to do the Ice Palace bomb jump, he's actually having to do this tile push down somewhat the correct way.
Yeah, if you have the cane, there's less reason to do the bomb jump, but without the cane, it's an interesting...
Yeah, and actually, having seen that he doesn't... Forgetting that he didn't have the cane because that was in the purple chest, it's actually surprising that he didn't do the bomb jump.
Okay, so thus far, I think the only interesting thing we've seen is the Meyer big key. Just a pod small key, but that unlocks maybe what, like one location? Or I think they actually checked all the annoying doors in pod already, so I don't think it even gets them anything.
Well, the bottle is actually interesting in that it will allow them, if they want to, do bottle glitch to check the right two chests in pod.
Oh right, and it also opens up sick kid, so there's that.
Yeah, so there's a few items. We've opened up one item in logic and two more items that are pretty easily accessible.
All right, nicely done, Pingator room on X side as well. Can
And
be a
you
little
see,
tricky without doing bomb stress without the boots to bonk.
definitely. So you saw JTB there wisely picking up magic refills because he's about to do cold stare with pretty tricky item setup. You're gonna have to use all your magic just to break open cold stare, and then it's hammer time.
Yeah, I believe I saw both the runners practicing this fight before the race, so we'll see if that practice.
JTB a little off in that first hit, so they immediately scatter, but he hasn't been hit yet, and that's the important part.
Yeah, with green mail, he can only take like 1.5 hits or something silly.
Yeah, he can get hugged once and take a couple of ice cubes. It's not fun. But he's doing an excellent job right now of just looping them around him and getting the hits in where he can. Taking the fight slow, but you have to when you only have this few hearts and green mail. First one's down. The fight gets a lot easier as you start to kill the heads. Mostly electing to go for those side and down hammer hits because the hitbox is much easier. Oh, he gets hugged by cold stare. He can't have that happen again.
Yeah, he's gonna have to start being really careful. Like, I don't think. Yeah, there's no potions because he just got a bottle. So.
Oh, but he gets it down. Excellent job, JTB. Excellent job. And
Yeah,
5 rupees for his trouble.
That was a little dangerous there. So I think the only thing we got out of this was a sick kid.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see how useful that bottle ends up being, and if our runners elect to use it to its full extent for bottle glitch in pod.
I take it back. I guess we got logical access to laser bridge and also practical access to Trinex. So there's that.
And for JTB, this could actually be useful. This bottle might encourage him to also go do purple chest. Since he's already in Kakariko Village, it's a really quick dip over. And we know that that purple chest has Kana Samaria, which is something he definitely needs to get here soon.
Yeah, I know we got a pod small key and a misery mire big key. I was talking in terms of things that we could actually do. The misery mire big key, we can't get into misery mire. So in the pod key, they already cleared out all the annoying doors. So they just need one for the boss.
So Ack just demonstrated one of the other really useful bomb jumps to know in Ice Palace that gets you from the right side of this room's door back over to the left. And that's a really useful routing tool to get through this dungeon as quickly as possible when you have that first key that lets you go do all the right side first.
Okay, so I guess we're looking at Turtle Rock right now because Sick Kid was gone.
Yep, JTB does still have Skull Woods if he wants to. He still hasn't killed Mothula. But he is first going to get that purple chest, which is really good for him. And this actually could be even, depending upon how he does this, it could be really good for him because we know that Ice Rod is also up on that Bombos tablet that's right near here.
Yeah, outside of Bombo's tablet and the front half of Swamp, I'm not sure what else he had besides purple chest that was really super available. I mean, obviously they could do the first half of Swamp, but who wants to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he didn't get that Ice Rod though, so if he goes to Turtle Rock anytime soon, that's not gonna be as good. Axe about to drop back down into Cold Stare here, so we'll see how this fight goes. How many hearts is he on? What, 7 hearts? Green.
Yeah, he's in basically the same spot that JTB is. He can take 1 hug from Cold Stare. Now let's see how he does. This was his seed, so hopefully he's practiced on this. Oh, and gets hugged immediately.
Ooh, no! This is getting dangerous, really.
Yeah, that's a disaster. He can't get hit again, and still has all the heads up and only a couple hits in.
Yeah, he's gonna have to avoid these ice cubes. He's using the trick a little bit, where if you stand at the top, the ice cubes don't separate. Gonna use some pause buffering strats, so that's pretty good.
Yep, and he's got to be careful. They want to trap him up there in the corner.
Oh, this. Ooh.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, this is bad.
Oh my goodness, are they just going to pass him? Oh, Ack just gets out of that corner.
I can't believe he pulled that off.
He had pixels of clearance. That was it. And he gets his first head down.
Never underestimate the power of the pause buffer, guys.
2 down.
I think he was probably panicking just a little bit right there.
Oh jeez, he almost ran into that ice cube. And another one. But he gets it. Well done, Ag. That was an incredible
Man,
fight.
that was edge of the seat kind of fight right there.
That's got to be the closest Cold Stare fight I've ever seen. Taking that much damage right. Oh my goodness. But he does get his crystal. And his 5 rupees.
Okay, so JTB has gone back to Skullwoods to go ahead and take on Mothula. Not sure what he's. I guess he's not feeling Turtle Rock right now. He doesn't have the Ice Rod. He doesn't. I mean, it's pretty available, but maybe he's trying to see if he can find something else before he goes to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he has an annoying amount of other things he could check, so it's a little hard to want to just run straight to checking that tablet. Ooh, but he does get a Mothula hug, and he has to be real careful now. He can't get hugged again. And he has no more magic.
Yeah, and he's got to avoid these spikes. It's only going to take 2 of those to kill him, too.
Yeah, Mothula is not cooperating at all, just hiding on the left side of the room there where you can't hit him.
Ooh, one more spike and he's down. Be careful.
Oh, no! I don't know if that was Mothula or if another spike coming off the wall, but he was probably only 1 hit away from finishing the fight.
I think that was Mothula.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but he's going to get right back in there.
No magic this time though, so he's gonna have to be real careful. Also, I think he's gonna have to farm a little bit if he wants to do the torches.
Yep, he needs that one, and there's one more he can pick up in this room that with the lamp will enable him to actually get to the fight.
Oh yeah, he does have the lamp, so that makes it a little bit.
Oh, interesting. He is just going to farm that room to get enough so he can use some fire rod shots.
Meanwhile, Ack is making the play to see if he can get into Turtle Rock. We don't know what the medallion is, so he might still be blocked out of it. But he does have Super Bunny Cave that he can get.
Yeah,
he does have. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and if he is locked out here, there really isn't a whole lot left, so you gotta hope the odds are real good for this.
Yeah, with all the items he has, the odds seem in his favor that he's gonna be able to get it. And he can.
Alright, so Ack is going to be the first one into Turtle Rock.
That's possible. He might go check Super Bunny first, but it's only 2 items, so yeah, he's gonna go.
Yeah, it makes sense. You just get this done while you can. Alright, round 2 for JTB. Well, he made all 3 of those fire rod shots count, so that's a better start for him. And a much better fight the second time around, though JTB expressing his displeasure with that fight.
Yeah, that was much smoother for him this time. Alright, so we have 12 items in Turtle Rock and 1 in Mimic Cave, but they won't be able to get the 1 item in the Lava Bridge chest, so we're looking at 12 items overall in here, which is a lot.
Hint tile isn't worth anything, which isn't too surprising. They've already found quite a few useful hints in this seed so far.
Although the usefulness of the swamp one is debatable because do you go left side for the Scorewoods big key or...
Yeah, no kidding. Another unneeded Misery Mire small key.
Okay, looks like JTB might be checking the Bombos tablet, or he could just be going into Swamp for the hookless Swamp.
Whichever one he does first, hopefully he does get over to tablet. So it is going to be dipping into the dungeon first. So hopefully he, at the end, does decide to just mirror out and go check that tablet. He really needs to find that ice rod.
Well, he's got 4 items available to him. One of them being the Skullwood's big key, and one of them being junk. Or no, 5 items available because he hasn't done the first chest. So he knows that one of them is junk and one of them is a fetch quest, and then he's got 3 other mysteries. As it turns out, 2 of them are fetch quests because he's about to get the powder.
Yeah, and we didn't mention this the first time when Ack picked it up, but the powder is another one of those items that not as useful anymore on hard mode. It does not create fairies, it just creates hearts.
Yeah, it can be useful in certain desperate situations, but yeah, overall it's pretty not worth it.
Excellent chain chomper from Ack there. So the first chest that JTB checked was just bombs.
And so far, Ack hasn't really found much of note either, so one of them should come across something soon that's worth our...
Yeah, someone has to find progression here because both our runners are in the only 2 areas available. There's not much else that they can do.
Well, there's our old friend Laser Bridge. That seems to always have something that...
Oh yeah, there's still plenty of items in both of these dungeons, so... Okay, Ack does unsurprisingly elect to steal the key off the lava bridge.
Yeah, this is the most popular chest in Key Sanity to isolate, I think.
Yeah, the time savings by being able to just skip finding that 4th key are usually significant compared to the odds of that one chest actually being something important.
Not having any luck. JTB's already down to the Skullwoods big chest, or big key over on left side. So Swamp is so far not really paying.
Nope, and this is a slow check to have to go do this left side.
Could be he's just hoping for this to be one of those situations where the thing you need to complete the dungeon. Oh, hey, there's the bow in Mimic Cave.
Okay, that gets us some more progression. We can now do... Helmasaur is now doable. Eastern Palace is now fully clearable, though there's only 1 item left in Eastern Palace.
I don't believe Helmosaur is quite doable because I don't think I've seen a pod big key.
Yeah, they. Oh, right, they don't have the big key. They have the small key. That's what I was thinking they have. But they will be able to do left side, or sorry, right side of pod, which they technically were able to do with a bottle, but not in logic.
So the big question is, will this swamp or skull big key lead to anything at all on JTB side, or is this just all kind of a shot in the dark that's not going to...
Yeah, and he really does need this to pay off. If you're able to skip left side of Swamp Palace, it's a couple minutes.
So meanwhile, Turtle Rock already giving us something good with the bow, and there's still Laser Bridge to contend with, which is definitely in logic, and then Trinex, which is not quite in logic.
So how does the Laser Bridge logic work on hard mode with Ana Bruna not providing invulnerability?
Canterburner does provide invulnerability specifically on Laser Bridge, just like it does in Spike.
Right.
If it's anything that requires invulnerability, it should work just for that.
Okay, JTP found the left side was the compass, so he is going to have to go fall back down again to find that big key.
Oh, that's the worst. Meanwhile, Axe just doing laser skips, though. He's doing a pretty good job, so he doesn't even need that cannon.
And of course, as soon as we say he's doing a good job, he falls off. Ooh, JTB takes a death.
Okay, well, Axe had the right idea because he just got the hook shot. So, unfortunately, the hook shotless dip of Swamp Palace is completely unnecessary, and JTB is doing it twice. That hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is real bad for JTB. Because he's going to pick up this big key, and having spent all this time to invest in it, he definitely is going to go check that chest here pretty soon.
Meanwhile, AcktheBoker is going to go straight to Hookshot K without Hookshot, see if the boots are there, and then I imagine straight to Swamp F.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty reasonable routing to me.
Some hammer Trinex, not too bad if you get your hits in quick. He manages to get to the fire rod before the head starts blowing up, so he gets that easy switch. And Firehead is down. He's doing a pretty good job.
Yep. Just gonna finish off the fight here with some fire rod shots if he wants to.
Yeah, taking it a little more cautiously on the ice head because Trinex likes to jump around a lot more once that first head is down. And
excellent second phase. That second phase is so much more annoying with the hammer than when you're able to do it with the sword.
Yeah, JTB gets his fetch quest, which I guess he's probably going to go do immediately, because if you would spend all that time in getting that, I don't see why you wouldn't just go ahead and do it, but we'll see. Looks like, did he forget that he didn't do the Bombos tablet yet, maybe, and he was going to go do it? I'm not sure what he's doing.
So I guess if he doesn't suddenly flute here, he's going to go check the one chest in escape that they haven't done, assuming they have the key for it.
Oh, right. Well, he doesn't need the key to go forward, so...
Right, yeah, you don't have to get into the back. So yeah, he is going to go check that one cross room chest.
Yeah, he needs to get up to Turtle Rock pretty fast. He's doing a lot of, like, isolated stuff, really, that's not paying off.
And speaking of paying off, Ack just found the boots.
Yep, there's our hookshot lock boots. Boots are always nice, but in swordless they're a little less nice because you can't dash with your sword, and that makes it a little more annoying. Oh, JCP is actually going to check Agatower while...
Okay, that's a quick check of a chest here. It's only this first two rooms, and with Fire Rod, it's super fast.
Meanwhile, Ack is going to meme and do the hover to the last chest of the hookshot cave and get a small desert key first.
Yeah, I wonder if a runner will even decide to head back to do that check, having already finished it.
Okay, Agatar is junk, so he's gonna go ahead and do. I don't know what JTV is about to do. Axe gonna go ahead and do Spike Cave, which Cane of Burner and 3 hearts is enough to do Spike Cave.
Yep, and Boots makes it a lot easier, assuming you don't run into things.
Okay, I think JTB is gonna do Bombo's tablet. Maybe I'm not sure why he wouldn't have done it after exiting Swamp.
Well, he saved and quit right out of Swamp. He should have probably just mirrored and done it.
Or he's gonna go a completely different direction, and I don't know.
Okay, so we still have Pyramid Check and Catfish.
Right. A couple more isolate. He's gotta start going towards item density here soon, or he's gonna fall a little bit more behind.
Yeah, it's real clear he's just trying to find that ice rod before he heads up into Turtle Rock, because that's the only other dungeon that he has access to. Or, barring him finding ice rods, something else that would get him into, say, Misery Mine.
Yeah, he doesn't know where the hook shot is either, so maybe he's hoping that it's down here somewhere.
Yeah. Well, the big key, so... Which one are you?
Okay, well that's a dungeon you can clear anyway.
Yep, and that is one of the big keys we need. He cannot get through Tower Hero without it.
Well, if he goes up to Tower of Hera, maybe he'll think about his buddy Turtle Rock. Ack remembering this big key that's boots locked before he goes into Swamp, and it's the Pod big key. So now we can defeat Pod and Eastern at the same time, so that's pretty handy.
Yeah,
and he does have the... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, with that bow, now it's a really tempting option to be able to just go and do the nice mirror to do them back to back and finish up the 4 items that are available to them.
Yeah, and he's also going to turn in this Desert Small Key to see if he gets anything for this, for finding that, which he does.
Okay, JTB's checking Catfish. It is a small key, too. Turtle Rock. Interesting.
Okay. Well, if that doesn't make him go to Turtle Rock, I don't know what will.
Well, we now know how... We now have access to Laser Bridge, or, sorry, Lava Bridge. So that's fun.
Okay, so he's going to go ahead and go to Turtle Rock, unfortunately without the Ice Rod, which is going to hurt a little bit, but at least he's going towards some progression right now.
Yeah, he is going to have to come back, though, at some point to kill Trinex. So Ack, on the other hand, is coming here into Swamp Palace, and I imagine we're going to see him skip left side.
Yeah, he does know that Skullwood's big key over there, so it's, I guess, at least slightly tempting, but again, 1 item. JTB hasn't even turned it in, so we don't even know if it's worth anything.
Correct. And there aren't that many items remaining that our runners need to be able to finish the game. Bombos, of course, being the major item that they still don't have.
I imagine regardless, he's gonna feel like doing the back first to see what he gets out of it.
Yeah, and that's a pretty common thing you'll see out of runners, because getting through these first couple rooms isn't that time-consuming, and especially compared to the time you save by skipping left side if you can. So JTB is our first runner-up in Tower of Hera.
Ooh, looks like he's skipping a hint.
I'm guessing he's just going to check it after falling down on the big chest. Though, hopefully he does check it. That would be silly to skip it.
Okay, Hera's not giving us too much so far. Yeah, there he goes. Well, he already did that, so...
Go to the next room again, I guess. So Hera, so far, not much of anything. We know that there's nothing in the basement off the hint tile in the first room.
Well, it'll be a crystal and or pendant for them, at least. I don't think we've determined what all of those are just yet.
No, honestly, I don't know if any of our runners have actually even bothered with a map check.
Well, it's all dungeons, so, you
Exactly.
know, no real need.
Yep, they all get done one way or another.
The only thing it helps you with is, like, knowing what the green pendant is and what the 5-6 crystals are. But you can just check your menu after you pull a crystal and see whether you got the 5.
Yeah, it doesn't make as big of a routing difference. JTB, unfortunately, though, does get hit by Troll Dorm and is going to have to try again.
Meanwhile, Ack is definitely just going to the back first. We'll see if he decides to skip that Skullwoods big key. I think it'll be pretty...
Well, JTB does get Hera down with second try, no problems.
Okay, so it's a crystal and not much else. So I think we are down to just a couple of possibilities for our last pendant, but we still don't know for sure. Okay, we found the last pod small key, I believe. Those were in some really silly.
Yep. Well, not super useful at this point. They already had found the final one they needed to be able to get Helmosaur once they found the big key. Didn't we get the mushroom for a fetch quest?
Interestingly, though, that I think that lamp was only blocked by 5 according to logic, because that's the 6th key, and the 6th key was past the lamp if you count the hookshot in. That seems like a possible problem if you did things in a dumb order, but maybe I'm...
Yeah, figuring out pod logic in Key Sanity is tricky.
I mean, it's just a lamp, so, eh. Alright, looks like JTB is going to make his way into Turtle Rock here soon. Meanwhile, AcktheBoker doing the menu boss.
And doing an excellent job of getting 2 puffs at a time. It really speeds up the fight when you're able to do that.
Alright, last puff down. See if he's gonna do Ice Rod. Okay, I haven't seen this one before.
Yeah, I've always seen Fire Rod when you have the option. Ooh, and misses that, so he is gonna have to get some hammer hits.
I think Ack's feeling a little bit of a me today. He's just gonna do a few little fun things.
Well, either way, he does get it down. Hey, green pendant.
Yeah, we did know that one because he talked to Sahasrara, but yeah, there's wasn't too much back here except for, I guess, well, no, it wasn't logical access to the lamp because that was on Laser Bridge, but or that was on or by virtue of 5 keys. So. I guess it actually works if you do. Yeah, if you went to get the 5th key from Ice Palace, then got the lamp chest, and then went to Turtle Rock to go. I don't know. It's.
Well, either way, he's got it done, and looking at the items left, the only items we for sure need are Bombos and the Thieves Town Big Key.
Castle Tower Small Key as well.
Ah, yes. Yes, because this is all dungeons, so we have to be able to do both Aga 1 and 2.
And, yeah, Silver is also, but Ganon can give us a hint for those if we don't run across.
Okay, I was never actually sure if silvers were required in swordless. That's good to know.
I mean, if you have a lot of time on your hands, they're not necessarily required, but yeah, you're gonna want.
Yeah.
It's
What
something.
want and what the seed decides to give you don't always go together in randomizer.
It's something like a 2-frame window with a hammer, or it's really hard to pull off.
Yeah, I knew it was real bad, which is why you do the spin strats to give yourself the full frame when you're just doing it with a sword. You have all that spin time to be able to hit that framed window. So we'll see what happens to Ag.
According to Zero Rush, it's a 1-frame window with swordless, so that's pretty horrible.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and depending on where whether Mire is a pendant or a crystal, Bombos could theoretically be in GT. Or if Thieves Town is the crystal or the pendant, then that key could be in GT.
Yeah, and that is one of those big things with GT having so many items. It's not a bad idea, even if you're still missing something, to just quickly get access into there and just go clear it out. So JTB is going to show us Lava Bridge, but it's only 20 rupees.
Okay, so coming in here with Ice Rod and not the 4th key was definitely the better arrangement.
Yeah, just a little bit.
He is on his way to that bow and that hook shot, though. Don't know how long it's going to take before he pulls himself over to Bombo's tablet. He's missed a couple easy opportunities to get that already, but he does have to go back and clear Swamp, so that would be a good time.
Yeah, and that's really the time he's going to need to do it, because the problem with continuing to find all this progression, well, obviously it's good, he needs to progress, it's adding more items, and it's making it harder and harder for you to want to go do that one solitary item. So right side of Pod didn't really turn out to be too much, but now we are getting Helmasaur.
Yeah, there's not too, well, he's got with the bow, it's not too much different from a regular fight. I mean, 17 hammer hits, 8 arrows, and then you're good to.
Yep, unless you decide for some reason you actually want to try to do the hammer strat for the last phase.
Helma hurts pretty bad, so I don't know. I don't think it would be the greatest idea. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get a potion.
And correctly so, because he did take a hit that would have killed him.
Yeah, potions only do heal you for 7 hearts in hard mode, but they don't really have too many extras, so it's basically.
Yeah, when you only have 8 or 9 hearts, 7 hearts of healing doesn't really make much of a difference from the normal full.
Oh, interesting. Pod was our other pendant, which means that Thieves Town, Big Key, and Bombos definitely have to be outside of game.
Well, that's actually a nice thing for our runners, because with the Ganon's Tower Big Key already, unless Silvers happen to be hiding in Ganon's Tower, we'll be able to spend a lot less time in it.
Well, they might still be searching for the Castle Tower Small Key when they go up there, too. We'll see.
That's true.
That one could also definitely be in GT. So he's going to go ahead and check this big chest, and then he's going to kill the Armmost Knights and probably turn in the green pendant. And then, if all that doesn't net him anything, well, one of those seems like it has to net him.
Yeah, he's got to find something here pretty soon. He still does have the mushroom, so there is that fetch quest. But other than that, it's pretty much all locked up right here. JTB does elect to take the safety, which is a really good idea since he does immediately get hit by and killed by a laser.
Yeah, I wonder if he doesn't realize the cane works. I mean, hard mode, I think that's a pretty common misconception, thinking that the cane doesn't work on this. Well, he also actually doesn't have any magic, so just kidding.
But it would not surprise me if he wasn't aware of it either, since Ack didn't use it either, and he had a full magic bar coming onto Laser Bridge.
Alright, there's his hook shot. He's probably not too happy to see that, considering he could have gotten that before he did.
Yep, picks another death. Still has 2 more chests to check before he's going to have to leave.
So the Skullwood's big chest is really the biggest question mark right now. So it'll be interesting to see if he checks that anytime soon to see what he got that Ack did not.
Yeah, that is the only item that JTB has access to that Ack cannot.
Looks like JTB is trying to work his way back up to Hookshot Cave because he knows there's a high probability of boots being. Meanwhile, the Armos Knight's not worth much. We'll see what the green pendant gets.
Well, they're actually worth quite a lot. 300 rupees is nothing to sneeze at.
Well, I guess they don't have too much left to buy anyway. But yeah, sure. I guess if you're into money.
It's actually kind of nice because it will allow Ack to be able to go buy 2 more potions, since I'm pretty sure he's already burned through all the ones he has, if he wants to.
The Hera Key's on Pyramid. Well, that was not worth it at all.
Even less so because we know that there's garbage in the basement of Tower of Hera.
So, what does Ack have left that we haven't seen? Is it really just the Skullwood's big?
Mushroom.
Oh, right.
You're gonna see that right now.
Yeah. Okay, there it is.
Alright, so Thieves Town is now clearable, and I imagine that's the next stop for him.
Yeah, so it seems like a decent likelihood of Bombos being in the back of the.
Yeah, were we able to... Do we know if Misery Mire is the other 5/6 crystal?
I'm not sure if we know if it's a 5/6. We know it's a crystal because Pod was the last pick.
Yeah, because if it's not in Thieves Town, then Pyramid is the other probable location.
Yeah, I can't
And
really
it's not
tell.
a 5/6. I don't think we've... The problem...
You broke up a little bit there, but I think neither one of them checked, so I don't know if we found a way to figure. I think we're just trying to catch it on the menu. I don't know if Jin has caught it. Speaking of, shoutouts to our tracker, literally Jin, for tracking Key Sanity for us today. It can be a little. Okay, I guess Discord's making us both sound a little screwy right now. Okay, Ack approaching the. Oh, it looks like he already has both 5/6 crystals. If I just saw his menu correctly, maybe I didn't. Just to map the Skull Woods on the first one, and he's got 3 more things he can get. JTB, meanwhile, gonna go ahead and clear pod and not find too much for his trouble. He's still got to get that Ice Rod from the Bombo's tablet. He's got Swamp still to finish, so hopefully he gets it. All right, big chest of Thieves Town. We're going to get just a red rupee. We got 2 more spots that Bombos could be in here, and then I think we're looking at the Pyramid Fairy because I think he does have both the crystals. All right, on to blind. So far, nothing to speak of in Thieves.
Nope, nothing to speak of, just one more of those steps of progression they need to be able to finish the seed.
Yeah, I don't know which crystal it was, but it seemed like when I looked at his menu, he had both the red crystals already.
Well, if that is true, that's pretty useful. So we'll be able to go see Pyramid here in just a second.
Alright, I'm going to showcase a little hammer blind, which can be a little bit trickier than the sword version, but he does have both canes as backup if he really needs.
Yeah, it doesn't quite get to stick with the script, but so far doing pretty good. And that red shield actually helps out a lot, being able to block these fireballs. Oh dear. Get that blue cane out. No, get the blue cane. Well, that works too.
Yeah, not too bad. It's a lot harder to stay on script really with hammer blind. So, oh wait, Thieves Town was the last pennant. Okay, I must have just been reading the tracker wrong this whole time. Then I could have sworn I already saw 2 pendants on there. Okay, well, whoops.
Hey, we learn something new every day.
Well, yeah. On the other side, though, that definitely means the Pyramid Fairy's gotta be it, I think. Or the Skullwood's big chest if he doesn't have those 2 crystals and I'm just crazy.
Yeah, man, if it ends up being the Skullwood's big chest, that's actually really beneficial for JTB. It'll basically be the only way he can get back in this race. Because he's pretty far behind at this point.
Trying to wait for Act to open his menu again so I can try to confirm this. Oh, I don't think anybody's checked Graveyard Ledge yet, actually.
Oh yeah, we actually have. That's a good point. We actually have both the dash locations and Graveyard Ledge. Excuse me. And Ack is probably, yep, he is going to check the Lumberjack K, which JTB did check earlier.
I'm not sure what small key this could be that would actually be useful. Well, I guess it could just be the CT small key. That we found most of the other. So it might be the Castle Tower small key. Wait, what am I saying? I'm stupid. This is the Lumberjack Cave.
Yeah, I was stopping to think about that. Like, wait, is there a way to get in here with?
So I may or may not have just woken up before this race, so you might have to just ignore me a couple.
So the reason we're realizing the issue there is you have to beat Aga 1 to be able to get into Lumberjack Cave, and you need the Castle Tower key to be able to fight Aga 1.
I think it's let's see. Of the keys we do have, it might just be a GT key though. I feel like we found most of the other ones. Oh, there's Bomb.
All right, so that is that. There's that final item we needed, and now we're just hunting for keys, specifically that Castle Tower key.
Seems well, pretty likely it could be in GT at this point, but there's no reason not to check this stuff while he's here.
Yeah, I mean, from an item density standpoint, GT is easily the most likely.
He'll probably check everything in Meyer while he's there. But yeah, it seems like GT is a pretty likely.
Yeah, Meyer's an interesting one. You probably have to check everything, but that is certainly one of those places that you could gamble on not doing it if you felt behind for some reason. And speaking of behind, JTB is finally going to get his Ice Rod.
Oh yeah, good point. I think Ack hasn't picked up that hair of big key yet, so he's got to go by the pyramid at some point. So he probably is definitely checking all.
Oh, right, that's an excellent point. Ack making the very smart and safe choice to go fill up on potions with all that money they found out of Thieves Town.
Yeah, so I feel like the best scenario for JTB here is if the Castle Tower small key is in the Skullwoods big. And even then, well, I'm not sure how much that gets.
Oh, interesting. Ack showing off that you can, in fact, buy capacity upgrades.
Yeah, in hard mode, they just cost 200 instead of 100, and they do give you a refill on your bombs and arrows. So, going here to do Vitreous Swordless, I don't. It seems like.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense to go buy more bombs and arrows. The fight is way faster if you're able to use the bombs to clear up as many of the eyes as possible, and the arrows to clean up the rest.
And meanwhile, JTB is going to go ahead and finish Swamp, and he's going to. Well, he's got his Ice Rod, so that's good. So after this, what does he have left? He has done Eastern and Pod.
Yep, he has Thieves Town still to do. That's the one that... But he already did Hera. So that's the trade-off right there.
Yeah, and then he'll probably end up at the Bonk Rocks location sooner rather than later too, because he's about running out of spots. I really just want him to go check the Skullwoods big chest because I want to know what's.
Exactly. It's like he spent all that effort to go get that key. Come on, you can't just leave us hanging like this.
Yeah, even though there's only one thing it could be that we would care about.
Now he'll probably do. He'll probably finish off Trinex as his final boss and do it right before heading up into Ganon's tower, since there's only one item on there and it's not going to impact really the rest of his seed, from what we know anyway. Yeah, if JTB finishes up here and immediately goes and checks those northern Dark World locations and the Bonk Rocks to get his Bombos, he'll at least have put himself in a decent shot to be able to compete with Ack, all depending upon where that final small key ends up being.
Ack needs Hera big key and small castle tower key, but we don't know where the small castle tower key is. He's just got to go to Pyramid for the Hera big.
Yep.
So far, he hasn't really found anything of note here. Oh, that eliminates the Pyramid Fair, at least.
Yeah, that is a nice check to not have to go do. Not a very long one, but saving time is saving time.
I feel like at this point the Lumberjack key is probably a GT small key because I don't think there's too much left. But if they find two small keys in for GT, they can full clear GT with no problems, assuming they go the right ways.
Yeah, I think they found a second GT key at some point already, so I'm pretty sure they're good to go entirely.
Yeah,
but we'll find out in a little bit when someone gets up there.
Yeah, you just need the two small keys to full clear GTs.
And GTB does get his green pendant.
So far, Meyer not coming through for us. Hey, but a heart container, that's pretty nice.
Oh yeah, you're not going to turn that down.
Axe been pretty low on hearts this whole time, so.
Yeah, 9 hearts, an hour and 50 minutes into the seed. Welcome to hard mode, people. It's fun. For us.
I think we found all 3 Meyer keys, but I'm not sure. It's hard to read the tracker.
Oh, JTB, are you going to do it? He is. We're going to go find out what's in that big key chest.
But it doesn't really matter if it's a GT key or a Meyer small key. It's pretty much worth. Oh, hey, go mode. Well, not for him, but we know that that's go mode.
Oh, and that's real bad for JTB, because with that being the small key, there's nothing in this chest that really matters.
Ack decided to be swag and hover back over to the bridge instead of falling back.
Yep, and only 300 rupees for all that hard work for JTB to get this big key.
Yeah, not worth it at all. So the silvers, we're looking at silvers probably in Ganon's tower somewhere, because there's really not. Looks like Ack is trying to set up some spooky action, but I don't 100% know how you do it, so I'm just kind of guessing. But
yeah, he didn't get it because you didn't hear the click. You would hear the switch going off if he'd set it up properly. But it's a pretty much, it only saves, I want to say it's 14 seconds, though any of the actual people who do NMG in the chat probably know the exact time. But JTB did get his Bombos medallion, so he also has all the items he requires, and if he does decide to start just clearing dungeons, he will find that final small key he needs.
Yeah, and with them just needing the silvers, I really think they've cleared everything besides Ganon's tower, so they're in there somewhere. So there's no reason for them not to full clear when they...
Between the two of them, I think they have checked every location.
Ack showing us a little hammer vitreous, not doing too bad, got most of the eyes down. And he's going to choose this safe spot over here and just unload it.
And a nice boss fight from Ack to finish that off. Interesting that he did go and buy all those capacity upgrades and then just did hammer strats on the boss.
Oh, look, there's a swamp big key. There's another possibility for ourselves.
Oh, that would be a fun one to have to go back to.
Alright, so where is that going to go? He really doesn't have too many checks left. He's got to know the pyramid or catfish have got something.
Yeah, outside of the swamp, that big key he just found, those might be the only locations available to him. Especially since he already knows that the pyramid inside of it has nothing.
I thought he was about to go to swamp. I was going to be like, heck, don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. From what we know, of course, it's a bad play, but from the runner's perspective, it's, I guess, a slightly bad play, probably 2 items versus 1, though. To get that second item here, you have to run all the way up to Catfish.
Well, at least he won't have to go... Well, he might check Catfish anyway, because he's still missing the silvers, but he could just nope out here after he gets there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just immediately heads for Ganon's tower.
Nope, looks like he's gonna, oh, no, yeah, he's gonna, mirror and flute, okay. But the good news is he can put a mirror portal in front of Hera, and oh nope, he's gonna go check the sewer stress, and or
He might just do Aga 1 unless he wants to do the back of sewers.
I mean he could do Aga while he's here.
Did he? I know JTB checked the 2 chests in tower, but I don't know if Act.
No, Ack hasn't been in the tower yet.
Yeah, so that's a possibility if he just wants to do those right now.
Honestly, though, it should be faster for him to just mirror after Ganon.
Agreed. Silver arrows, though, do make doing the gauntlet in Ganon's tower a little bit easier in some of the rooms, so it is nice to find them before you have to do all that.
Sure. Nope, looks like he's gonna go to Hera, Ganon's tower, and then Castle Tower, probably. Oh no, never mind. Okay, he's just gonna mirror up there instead. Yeah, that's a little bit fast.
Yeah, why walk through the castle when you can just walk around the castle through the Dark World?
Well, unfortunately, he's not gonna get his silvers out of this, but he's got to do it anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, it's slightly unoptimal in terms of just pure time, but of course, if he manages to find, uh-oh, JTB just messed up his magic usage here. He's gonna have to do this the slow way now, I think. I don't know if he has enough to actually do all the torches.
He's got enough for 4, yeah, I think.
Okay, he just can't mess up another one. Okay, he does get it.
Yeah,
But he cut that close.
Yeah, I think Ack was hoping that he would find the silvers here and just save us some time, but unfortunately he's gonna have to do a little searching through game.
Yeah, not ideal, but it is what it is.
Meanwhile, JTB is going to finish Mire and not find much else besides the Castle Tower small key. And then he will essentially he's finished Pod, right?
Yes, he has done Pod. He's gonna have to go to Thieves Town. That's gonna be his final dungeon.
Okay, I couldn't quite see if it was on the tracker or not. I think I was hoping for a final gambit for the silver ascent, but nope, unfortunately not.
Yeah, I mean, even with all of the unfortunate things that have happened with JTB, he's still not that far behind.
Yeah, well, this mix of modes is pretty mind-bending at times, so props to him for being this far along at this time with all this mess.
Exactly, and while it's certainly Axe game to lose at this point, Ganon's still a pretty tough fight. Hammer Ganon is no joke, and we've seen runners take multiple attempts to get that fight down here in Swordless.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are more practiced at it than they used to be, but when it first came out, but it's still not the best of.
Yeah, JTB taking every possible advantage to try to get any more heart pieces. He's real low going here into the final basement of Misery Mire.
Oh yeah, and we still haven't found the bug net, which makes Aghanim a lot less annoying, I should say. So we're gonna have to do Hammer Aga. It's a little bit easier from the top and from the left because of the hammer hitbox, but if you get the timing right, you can still get it from any direction.
Yeah, Aga 1's not too bad with hammer since you only have one ball to reflect. Aga 2 with the 3, though, is a lot more annoying.
Well, on the plus side, we have a lot of potential checks to get the bug net out of Ganon's tower. Well,
Yep,
meanwhile,
that'll make things a lot easier.
JTB is trying Spooky, but I'm not sure if he's... Yep, he's got... And Axe just You know, taking damage on purpose at this point. Just kind of giving Aga the middle finger.
Yeah, this is an incredibly long Aga fight. But there it goes. Alright, JTB is on to his Argus fight. This is a tricky one without silvers, without a sword. And he has exactly enough arrows to finish off the fight. Well done, JTB. Or too short, sorry. Well, he gets through most of it. The hammer's not too bad, and he was practicing this quite a bit earlier.
Yeah, nicely done. And now he is going to presumably do Thieves Town and then go... Well, we'll see if he does Aga 1 to search for the...
It would seem less likely for him to, as he's already checked the first 2 chests.
Oh, yeah, I'm duh. So, he's got Trinex. He's got Thieves Town and Trinex, right?
Yeah. Oh, he still hasn't actually checked these Desert Palace locations.
Oh, yeah, so, let's see, he got the big key, right? Yeah, he had to have. Well, maybe he hasn't done pod then, because this is where the big pod key...
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. Maybe he hasn't done pod. I figured he had when he was overdoing Eastern.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he must not have done pod then, if he's in here looking for items right now. So then he's got pod, Thieves Town, and Trinex. Silver arrows are likely just in Ganon's tower.
Yep, and if anyone can think of any location not in Ganon's tower, and that's not the one big key chest that we haven't checked, good on you, because we can't think of any.
Well, it's Ganon's tower, the swamp big chest, and or the shovel, which also seems likely to be in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I suppose the shovel is technically a unique spot.
JTB is going to... I don't know.
I'll probably buy another arrow capacity to refill his arrows.
Oh, right, okay. I keep forgetting that's there.
Yeah, it's not something you usually have to use.
Every time somebody goes right there, I'm thinking Ice Palace, and I'm like, he's already done that. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and defeat Helmasaur and just get a bottle for his troubles. Meanwhile, Axe up here, hoping for the silver arrow.
Yeah, and once he's done with Tower Hera, he's going to be right outside Ganon's tower. Well, real close to being outside Ganon's tower. Just has to hop on over to Turtle Rock to get the portal.
Yeah, as far as last dungeons go before Ganon's tower, Hera is the next best one to Turtle.
Yeah, and honestly, you could just come up to Hera via the right side of Death Mountain and just mirror over from the Dark World and then do Hera, if you wanted to.
Alright, JTB took a quick detour to check the Sahasrala's item for the green pendant, just getting that small Hera key that he knows is nothing that he needs.
Yep, and Ack did take his portal, so he's going to be heading right into Ganon's tower. So, while we don't have a big key guessing game, because we already have the big key, you can sort of play the silver arrow guessing game at this point. And he is definitely checking for silvers, because he could head right up the tower if he wanted to.
Yeah, acting with only 2 keys going to the right side first, which is pretty much the best way to go about this if you want to avoid potential key. And since we know one of those is on the pedestal and the other one is quite likely in Lumberjack far away from here, he's going to want to be as careful about that as possible.
Yeah, accidentally locking yourself out of here would be pretty unfortunate. Oh, we found the second blue mail location. That's a really good find, actually. Ganon with blue mail is significantly more doable, and it's still a hard fight, but with just green mail, that's awful.
See a heart container on the torch. Axe gonna go ahead and pick that up because he's got some gross fights ahead of him. So.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 12 hearts with blue mail. It still doesn't leave you much room for taking hits by Ganon. JTB finishes off Helmosaur, but he's still gonna have to head over to Thieves Town.
I don't think he's checked the big chest yet, so he's gonna go back in and check that. Not gonna get anything that he really wants for it, though.
No, but makes sense. You can't just leave it when you're already here. Well, so far not much in terms of items, but a considerable number of red rupees. Ack demonstrating one of the few uses for the blue boomerang in hard mode.
You gotta get something out of it.
JTB has finished up all of the things in pod.
Oh yeah, he's got to turn the mushroom in to get that Thieves Town big key, or he's not going to be able to do Thieves Town at least.
Yep.
But that's about all he has left outside of going to kill Charnak, so no reason why he wouldn't.
Yeah, and he did get the hint that Pyramid has nothing inside of it, so he shouldn't check that.
Alright, so far no silvers and not much going on here in Ganon's Tower. We got the compass, so we do know we've checked 17 chests, going on 18.
Oh, another small key. Well.
Oh, hey, so that small key in the Lumberjack was... Maybe it was a Meyer key. I don't know what's...
Meyer seems the most likely. It has the most unneeded small keys.
Well, we definitely found all 6 of pods and all 4 turtle rocks in both the ices. So.
Yep.
Oh, it might have been a Skull Woods key. I don't think we saw both of those.
Oh yeah, Skull Woods is another one of the dungeons where you don't need many of the keys to clear it. Oh, we're running out of locations that those silvers could be. Maybe silvers end up being in the gauntlet?
Yeah, it's possible. He's about out of spots down here. Okay, so we got our cape, which doesn't do a huge amount for us. I
Almost
think he's got
nothing, in
time.
fact, because we already picked up the mail location. We already picked up blue mail, so that mail location's dead. Though there are a couple of things here in Ganon's Tower where if you want to cape and dashing is actually useful since you don't have a sword.
Well, he's gonna go. He can use it on this room right here if he wants to make it a little easier. But yep, there.
Interesting. Yep, doesn't do the hold thing with it, where you're able to just pull on the wall and not actually burn magic. So he's gonna have to run around.
It was fun while it lasted.
Ack just wants to make things hard on himself.
And JTP making his way through the back of Thieves Town for the nothing that it will bring him. Okay, so it looks like we're on our way to Gauntlet. So
Yeah,
the silvers are most likely up here somewhere. We still don't have the bug net either, so it'd be interesting if he finds.
Yep, only 4 items left, or only 4 chests left to check in here, and there's only 3 items actually remaining in the game that our runners haven't picked up yet. Silver, shovels, and bug net.
He's running a bit low on arrows, so you better go ahead and pick those up in the chest. So, and he's gonna have to use a potion, right? Or a pot, not chest.
Yeah, he takes still quite a bit of damage in that room. He's actually at the point where he could almost use another potion already, especially since he has no magic.
Alright, JTB is approaching the maiden's chest here. Just gotta go kill blind, and then he can be on his way to killing Tri. Meanwhile, Ack is about to enter the gauntlet, but he's gonna pick up a couple of fairies first, it looks.
Yeah, makes sense. Get a full magic refill and refill all of his health. JTB has blind and is almost about to start his blind fight here. He has more than enough hearts. He shouldn't have any issues with this boss fight. And Ack is doing a very good job of getting through the gauntlet so far. These are really tricky rooms to have to do with just the hammer, but he's making it look pretty easy.
Well, he's done some entrance runs in his time. He's used to weird equipment in most rooms.
Nice land moles, gets that down super fast with that fire rod.
Meanwhile, JTB has a pretty clean fight on blind. Gets his last pendant. Not gonna pull the pedestal because we know that's crap, but gonna go up to Trinex and get his last crystal, head into GT and start his search for the silvers. I would have.
Yeah. After he does the powder check, since he had picked that up before he came into Thieves Town.
Alright, act through the first torch puzzle while JTP gets his disappointing powder.
Ack prudently waits at the bottom of the room to make sure he doesn't actually despawn the tower.
Yeah, doing this twice in Swordless would be pretty awful.
Oh, there's the shovel.
There we go. There's a spot that we could find either the bugnet or the silver.
Only 2 items left. Or 2 items in Ganon's tower left. We're about to see both of them.
Oh, there we go. Right at the last second, we got the bugnet for Agate.
Yeah, that is a really nice find. It just makes the fight so much smoother.
Will we get silvers?
I see Act is electing to kill Troll Dorm instead of just hovering over. Though I suppose he wants the chest.
Yeah, if silvers were there and he just skipped them, that would be pretty awful. So let's see what we got here. Hey, there you go. He's at validation, or the last chest of the game, and got his silver arrows. So official go.
So whoever guessed 27 in the Ganon's Tower silver chest guessing game, congratulations. You've won you can collect your prize after the match.
Oh man, what a wonderful spot for
Yeah, that is just about perfect.
It looks like Ack's gonna go ahead and forgo the hammer, or the net for the hammer. Nope, just kidding. He tried it once and he was like, nope, this isn't working. Meanwhile, JTB is making his way to Trineck.
Yeah, Ack's having a tough time here, though this is not an easy fight to have to do with just the bug net. Especially now that they're off cycle.
Yeah, he got a nice double there, but let's see, what does he have? Ooh, he's getting really close. Oh,
well, he does get it down, but 2 hearts is not happy to be having to go do Ganon with.
Well, he does have a couple potions still, so he's got, you know, an extra 14 hearts laying in.
Yeah. The question is, does he elect to go heal before doing?
There is a convenient fairy and a tree down here, but I feel like with the 2 potions, he's just gonna go.
Yeah, he has a lot of options. It's really just 1, how comfortable he feels, and 2, how close does he think this race is? I mean, they're already 2 hours and 17 minutes in. This has been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, he immediately drinks a potion, doesn't want to take any chances whatsoever, because basically everything's a one-shot in here on the heart stick.
Yeah, so phase 1 and 2 of this fight are definitely the hardest with Hammer. Gets through phase 1 okay. Phase 2 is the one where you see a lot of runners die, though.
Yeah, phase 2 is the worst phase in every mode and with every item set. Really.
Yeah, with Hammer, there's just so many Ganon locations that you can stand in where it's almost impossible to get a Hammer hit without getting hit by the fireballs or a fire bat.
Nice job just walking out of the fire bat circle there, and now he's up here in the corner, which is pretty ideal for getting hits in without getting hit him.
And he's already on to phase 3. So he's going to miss 1 chance there.
Meanwhile, JTB is about to go into his Trinex fight.
Man, Ack is making this look easy. Gets hit once total between phases 1 and 2. JTB on his Trinex fight does stop the ice from getting all over the ground, and he'll be down in just a second, but Ack is already on to phase 4.
Yeah, gets an immediate hit in, and now he's got to light the torches. I think he was, oh, yep, he's got to set up for a double here if he gets it fast enough. Yep, here he...
Yeah, 1 more hit and he should be done.
All right, get your GGs in chat for AcktheBoker. Is in first place with an official SRL time of 2:19:30.
Yep, so give your GGs to Ack. An excellent job navigating a very difficult seed. And as Ack finishes, JTB finishes his try next fight.
Okay, so we're joined by our winner, AcktheBoker.
GG, guys.
Yeah, GG, Ack. That was an excellent run for a fairly tricky seed.
Yeah, the start really sucked. I don't know. It was a strange one. I feel like for like 2 hours, I was just asking myself, where are the items? I felt like you never found anything like the whole time.
Yeah, the start did kind of string you out a lot. Got the classic checkerboard pearl, so that was with Zora Mitz no less.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird how, I don't know, the light world just had like 2 places it wanted you to go.
All right, and we can tell you that JTB has forfeited with Ack winning. So we've got JTB here as well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we noticed from your file names that you weren't entirely sold on the mode that Ack picked here today.
Well, it is my first time doing swordless and my first time doing key sanity, so I might as well just do them both at the same time on hard mode and just learn the hard way.
You did it pretty good. Yeah, you did pretty good. It was a pretty hard seed, though. Sorry.
Yeah, so Ack, you finding that ice rod early was probably one of the big things that helped you get the lead, but one of the other big ones was your cold stare fight. You want to talk us through how finishing that with 1 heart?
I mean, it wasn't even that I finished it with 1 heart. I mistimed it at the beginning and I got bodied twice, and like, not only was I, with only 1 heart, but I was also really mad. I had to like take a pause break just after the start of that fight to like just calm down for a second, because like I still had the whole fight ahead of me. And then yeah, I had a really nice escape from the little cotton candy sandwich there. That worked out for me.
That pause buffering was incredible to get out of the top of the room.
What happened in cold stare for you?
I got hit, like bodied by him trying to get the quick hammer hit, and then I got hit by an ice immediately, so that put me at 1 heart. And then they freaking surrounded me like a group of Navy SEALs, and I had to like just do pause buffers to like slowly move out of the way with like a little just tiny safe passage to get through them. It was interesting. I didn't even know if they were gonna make it, because I really had nowhere to go if they would have kept closing in on me. But
it was
I
a
felt
very
a little
edge of
better
the seat
after
moment.
that.
It was a very edge of the seat moment on our end. We weren't sure if you were going to live through that either. So good job on that one. You both had pretty good overall fights. Nobody took any deaths that were too great.
Nice. Yeah, Ice Palace was kind of the early play. Like, the earlier you did Ice Palace, the earlier the seat opened up for you. But it was kind of trying to bite off more than you could chew. I mean, I wanted to do ice really early, but you got a hint saying a bottle was in pod, and I was like, I can do every chest except for, anything that's locked by the big key or bow. Well, that's where the bottle was. But I would have went to
fun
ice
hint.
early. Yeah. Kind of upset me a little. I only went to pod just for the bottle. I didn't really care about anything else.
Yeah, the thing where it really opened up was diving Turtle Rock pretty early. You did that pretty fast. JTB kind of held off a little bit. I think you were maybe looking for the ice rod, but you didn't check the Bombos tablet, unfortunately.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I found the ice rod at Bombos, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's game right there. Like, and I know for sure Ack wasn't going to miss that, and that was more so just kind of forgetting that, oh, I don't need Master Sword to check a tablet.
Yeah, that was like the second thing I did. Once I finally got my Dark World access. It took so long. And I had forgot to check the first chest in Naga 1 when I had done it, or when I had gotten the hammer out of back of Escape, but I guess at that point, that was still a sequence break, so I just told myself that's why we didn't do it, not because I forgot.
Yeah, we were talking about that. The actual game logic route for the way it wanted you to get hammer was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I got the Hyrule Castle small key like really, really late. Where, man, was it in pod or?
It was
Skull
in
Woods.
Man.
Yeah, so as far as like smit sequences to get the hammer, it wasn't like the worst thing ever, but it's always pretty fun when the game gates something really good like that behind that key of all things, because it's such a useless key.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the seed, your Ganon fight was really impressive doing that swordless. We've seen a lot of runners in this tournament struggle with it, but you just got it done with being hit a single time. How much practice have you put into that?
I don't know. Just whenever I play swordless seeds, that's the only time to practice it. It's actually kind of hard to practice swordless Ganon because unless you have a swordless seed lying around with a Ganon hole, you can't really just set it up. So I don't know. I just like using the hammer in general, so I think that probably helps overall.
And JTB, I know we didn't get to see your attempt at it, but how are you feeling having to do swordless Ganon?
It doesn't really look that hard. I got a couple potions if I went that far, and it's just not trying to go for like a lot of hits, just like avoiding the bats and stuff. So, I mean, a lot of this was my first time doing hammer stuff. I don't practice it a lot in the ROM, but it's just playing safer and kind of knowing the patterns is more important than just trying to brute force it.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. The final question that I had for Ack. You checked every single chest in Ganon's tower. How'd it feel to find silvers in the last one?
It felt pretty typical. This is not my first very high item check. I know what my item count is. I'll just go ahead and say this number is, I don't even think it's my highest one so far. Silvers in Ganon's tower really suck. I hate it. It needs to stop. The actual one item that can literally be anywhere at all times. It's lovely. I love it.
Well, you guys, between the two of you, the only thing you had left at the end was the shovel spot and the swamp big chest. That's the only things that we never saw. So,
He went
full clear was.
He grabbed the Skullwood's big chest.
Yeah, it was a 300 rupee.
I was like, it's gonna be there, typical, but I didn't care at that point. I mean, I felt like every single chest I opened had nothing, so why am I not allowed to skip one every now and then?
Well, we've got lots of tournament and lots of randos still to come. There's a game that's just started on Speed Gaming 4 between Asmati Games and Weighty Words.
Yeah, thanks for the commentary tracking and restream, guys. This is a late setup, but I do appreciate it. I'm gonna jet here so I can go to work, but as always, it was awesome, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, GG. We also have Speed Gaming 3's got a game coming up in an hour, and just there's a schedule. Check the schedule. There's lots of stuff coming up. Good job to AcktheBoker and JTB for running this crazy mode and these crazy seed. Follow these guys. Thanks to our tracker, literally Jin, and my co-com Imlin. Follow them as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Rectadar. This was a real fun game to commentate with you. I hope everyone enjoyed this race, and definitely stick around. Either check out the Speed Gaming calendar to find out when upcoming races are happening. Same with the ALTTPR schedule. There is just so much coming up as we continue to get through these group stages. Tons of different modes, tons of awesome matches.
Yeah, be sure to follow all of the Speed Gaming channels and all the ALTTP Randomizer channels as well for all rando all the time. I think that about wraps it up for us. Just stay tuned for many more fall tournament races of many crazy modes. I've been Recedador.
And I've been Emlyn, and thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next run.